kind of scourge of slasher movie remakes that we got through the 2000s started with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that 2003 Texas Chainsaw is going to come up a lot today because that's like the most connected to what we're going to be talking about. And that movie is very gory and very like beautifully shot, like probably one of the best looking horror movies I've ever seen, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. What we're talking about today is something that I love even more, and it's a prequel to that 2003 movie. It's in the same timeline as that, and it's basically explaining a lot of the things that you see that kind of go unexplained in the 2003 one. It's Texas, it's the 60s, there's these two couples. The two guys are brothers, and then their girlfriends. They all have color-coded hair to each other, so there's a brunette couple and a blonde couple. They're on their way to enlist in the Vietnam War. One of them was in the war before. One of them is going for the first time, but he's, like, hesitant on whether or not he wants to enlist. Like, he's planning on dodging the draft, and he ends up doing that. They get into a car crash, and then they end up on, like, Leatherface's family farm. I don't really know how to say it other than I think this is one of the most underrated horror movies, and at least underrated slashers probably of all time, or at least of this century, because I think it looks incredible. Lucas Etlin, who did this one, I think that he brings something really strange to this. It is very handheld, and there's a lot of like huge film grain on the screen. Such a yellow, kind of decaying looking movie. This is also far and away the goriest Texas Chainsaw movie by quite a lot. I would say the next goriest is the new Netflix one. The general tone of this is completely realistic and disturbing, and so much of the imagery, especially like the opening scene, the very opening scene, the actual birth of Leatherface is almost too far for me. Like, they base this entire thing around that kind of 60s iconography in a good way of the Vietnam War. They have a run-in with like a biker gang, and Arlie Ermey's character, who we'll talk about, he's like, oh, I don't want the hippies moving in. And their town in Texas, it's completely falling apart. Like, everyone's leaving the town. That's why this family's kind of able to take over the town in a subtle way where people can go missing here and no one's going to realize that. Just having this be like a sweltering Texas movie and everything is like a Coppola Apocalypse Now sunset outside. I would say the first 30 minutes of this movie, the sun is constantly setting. And I guess I'll talk about the director a little bit, even though this is a rare case where the director of the movie is the least interesting part of the entire thing, because Jonathan Liebesman made this, and he has a very... well, I don't want to be too mean because I love this movie, but he does not have an impressive track record. He made Battle LA and the Michael Bay produced Ninja Turtles movie. He did Darkness Falls a couple of years before this, and that's a fun enough Are You Afraid of the Dark feeling blockbuster. I think the script is doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and something I really have learned to appreciate for the first 30 minutes is how it cuts back and forth between the brother stuff and the Leatherface stuff. You're going back and forth, so there's never any downtime, and even if we were with the brothers for the first 30 minutes, I think it still would be like perfect, because I like spending time with those characters. Jordana Brewster plays one of their girlfriends, and she ends up being the final girl of the movie. She's incredible. I kind of wish she got to do more stuff like this. She recently had a really good turn in Hard Eyes, which I appreciated. This movie is the beginning, right? It's a prequel. The next prequel would literally just be called Leatherface. So we have to talk about Leatherface because that's the thing you talk about. You know, he was at the frickin' People's Choice Awards like 2 years before this. Andrew Bernarski, who plays him and Gunnar Hansen, who was Leatherface in the original, had a weird rivalry.
The Andrew Bernarski slams the door. This is the original slams the door.
I'm prefacing this with that because I do think he might be the best Leatherface, and it's not like he's just lumbering around. Leatherface is all in the eyes, and in this movie it's the same way. Like, yes, he's a huge dude and he could fucking kill you really hard. You need to be able to feel bad for Leatherface a lot more than you can for like Jason, because he is often an abused character. He has like a completely different presence in this one than he does in the 2003 one, and that's a good thing. It doesn't feel like dissonant at all. And I want to talk about the controversial early design of him in this movie, because probably about the first half he's wearing this kind of muzzle. He looks exactly like Mick Foley as Mankind, and you can just see his eyes and you can always kind of tell what he's feeling, and then when he gets his proper mask later, oh my gosh, design choices I did not think were possible, like things I could have never thought of, because it's his first mask, and it literally looks like newborn skin. He looks like a baby Leatherface. I want to mention, when I saw him with my friend Jacob when we went to Horror Nights last year and they did the Legacy of Leatherface maze, they had a Leatherface that was wearing the muzzle mask, and I was so happy. Somebody in Universal higher-ups knows that mask is cool as fuck, which it totally is. It makes that 2017 Leatherface movie just look so much worse, because this is how you do a proto thing. Something I love is how supportive the rest of the family is of Leatherface. Like,
I like your new face.
Because in the first movie, they're all being really mean to him. He's the Forrest Gump of slasher villains. Like, he's literally just doing what other people are telling him to do. And what I like about this is, like, his family's so supportive of him. Like,
he's misunderstood.
People are always standing up for him, you know? And I would be remiss if I didn't mention R. Lee Ermey as Sheriff Hoyt, who was the best part of the 2003 movie. As a new family member, he's the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket, both literally the same actor played that character, and he acts the exact same way in these movies.
Private Pile, whatever you do, don't fall down. That would break my fucking heart.
Dude, we got ourselves a regular American hero here, ain't we?
They're able to do a really nice trick with him in this, because in the first one, in the 2003 one, when you meet this character, it takes a couple scenes before you realize, oh, he's crazy, like he's part of Leatherface's clan. In this movie, they know that we've seen the 2003 one, so they can just jump right ahead to having him be super crazy and feral right away, which they do.
You gonna be the motherfucker who eats, or are you gonna be the poor sorry motherfucker who gets ate?
It's ranking time. So I'm going to rank the prequel reveal moments in this movie every time that they feel the need to explain something from the 2003 movie, from least silly to most silly. So we're going to start with ones that I think are actually like good and smart, and we're going to devolve into ones that I think are completely stupid and unnecessary. So, number one, learning how Leatherface gets his mask and his chainsaw. The chainsaw explanation is super simple. He just ends up kind of liking it. It's simple, and it's something that we need to see. The scene where he makes his first mask, where he cuts someone's face off, horrible to watch. So harrowing, and they show way more of that process than you would think that they physically could. Number two, Sheriff Hoyt finding out how he became the sheriff. Basically, everyone's leaving this small Texas town, so there's one cop left. His name is Sheriff Hoyt, and so the then Charlie Hewitt literally just shoots him and then steals his uniform.
Shit, I just killed the whole fucking sheriff's department.
Finding out how Sheriff Hoyt lost his front teeth. So this is where we start to get a little more ridiculous, because there's a scene, the 2003 one, where he has like dentures for his front four teeth and he just like takes them out, and it's like a gross little moment. Didn't really need to know how that happened, but we see how it happens, and it is really brutal, and it is satisfying in a way, but it's just a silly thing to put in a movie. Learning that Leatherface has a facial deformity because of alcoholism, because his mom was an alcoholic. I don't care that much about that. Learning how Uncle Monty lost his legs. One of the best scenes in the movie, probably the funniest scene in any movie.
Tommy, that's goddamn sloppy. That'll get infected. Even him up. Come on, come on. There you go. Nice work, Tommy.
What did you do that for?
Balance.
But not something I needed an answer to, because there's a family member who doesn't have any legs, and in this movie we see how that happens. And the last one is finding out where Sheriff Hoyt got his saran wrap from. Don't really care about that too much, but it's in there if you needed an explanation for that. The only thing about this movie I genuinely don't like is they do a dinner scene recreation, which something I really respected about the 2003 one is that they knew they didn't need to do that. That scene in the original movie is one of the most iconic horror scenes of all time. And the one in this, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not bad, but it's never going to live up to what we got in the original. This movie's got enough of its own stuff in it, and it can ride off its own steam enough that you don't really need that kind of thing. So I won't say too much about the ending, but unbelievable ending. Honestly, one of my favorite endings in any horror movie ever, and one of my favorite shots in any movie ever. is the final shot. Incredible ending. I love this movie. It didn't make the money that the first one did. It made about half of what the first one made. We'd never see anything in this continuity again on screen. There's a lot of comic books that follow this continuity some of them are pretty good. I don't always recommend tracking down sequel comics to stuff because they're very hit or miss.
Oh my god, bro. Oh hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.